Okay, so Aubrey, who have you got for the top 4 this year?
First, Geelong, I reckon. Second, Freo. They look really good. A lot of good young players. Third, Brisbane. Pretty obvious. And fourth, GWS.
Yeah, that's not too different to mine. I think Fremantle's a pretty good shout. They obviously have a lot of young talent. So for mine, I've got first Brisbane, like they are one of the best big game teams out there. I guess they never really slip up in those clutch moments. So I think they'll put together a really solid season, finish first. And second place, I've got the Giants. They'll lock in a home final for the first time of their history, which is unthinkable considering how many times they've actually made the 4. And then third, I've got the Hawks. Very good young team. And then fourth place, I've got Fremantle. And that's it.
Who do you think's win the Premiership?
I've got the Giants winning their first ever flag.
From a home final?
Yeah, from a home final. Home final to home prelim. I think the dimensions of Giant Stadium are actually smaller than most other grounds. That's why they do so well most years. It's similar to GMHBA. Sides don't really know how to play there. So
They're also very good away.
yeah,
They've
true
beaten
that.
Geelong and Brisbane a lot at their home grounds. I'm going to say Freo. I thought they'd do better this year, but they've got a lot of young, good players, I reckon. So
Yeah.
surely going to be up there.
And runners up. Who's losing it? So close yet so far. Who have you got?
Geelong, they're always good. It's a safe bet. They make the top 4 every second year. It's ridiculous.
Will they ever be shit? Can we just talk about that?
No.
They got to bulldoze GMHBA. Seriously, the AFL, they need to step in and actually do something about this advantage. It's actually, that's the name of the show actually, homegrown advantage. But, the advantage Geelong have is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and Brisbane do well at their home, and they won the Premiership this year.
Nah, but it's different, because Geelong can just play at the G, can't they?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nah, but play for the people in Geelong. They get big crowds there. It's good, considering how.
Yeah, isn't
big
the
Geelong is.
capacity? The capacity's way smaller than the G.
Yeah, but
It'd be better for Geelong if they moved to the G.
They wouldn't get as many fans because it's not in Geelong. They have more fans in Geelong than in Melbourne.
Well, obviously.
So they have it there. Who do you think's gonna be runners up?
Hawthorn.
Hawthorn,
I don't think they're...
grand final.
Yeah. I don't think Hawthorn are mature enough yet.
Well, the grand final's pretty.
All this TikTok stuff. Yeah. Just feels like they're not, mentally driven enough.
Someone's gonna do their homework on Hawthorn. They won't be up to it.
Yeah. I think teams are going to start working them out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they will improve, but I think, they're not quite ready. And they do say, you got to experience the bitterness of defeat to, really relish the ecstasy of victory. And I think that's going to apply for Hawthorn.
Alright, runners up. Oh, the wooden spoon. I'm going to say North.
Ooh.
I don't think they have it again.
I honestly
They're
think
going
North
nowhere.
I think North are going to rise this
I
year.
think Alistair Clarkson was going to go this year probably as North coach.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything for them.
He can go back to fucking abusing Indigenous players in his spare time. It's true, though.
Yeah. And then you have...
Richmond. No surprises there. Most injuries in the competition. If it wasn't for all their injuries, they'd probably be a much better team. But most weeks it's just a VFL roster pretty much.
And a draft.
Yeah, you've got a very impressive draft hand, which is going to do you well in about 5 years.
But it's their first year. So.
But it's their first year together, so it'll be like, who the hell are these blokes?
And then the Brownlow, get into the player awards.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Hayden Young. Seen him a few times in real life. He looks really good.
That goal he kicked against the Bombers this year.
Yeah, what a goal.
Very underrated goal.
Underrated goal, yeah.
Amazed it didn't get nominated for goal of the year.
If it wasn't for Nick Dacos getting glazed by AFL again.
Oh, Nick Dacos. Well,
Anyway.
I'm no better.
Is that the first time someone's had 2 nominations for the goal of the year?
Yeah, it would have been. And he didn't win.
Yeah.
He didn't even take it home.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
who do you have?
Well, I've become what I hate. I've got Nick Dacos winning it.
Ooh.
I just think it's not my personal opinion. It's just thinking about what the umpires like.
Yeah, and
I have him.
Patrick Cripps is gonna be up there as well.
Yeah, I have him tying it just to make it seem a little bit more fair, which obviously it isn't if he's winning it. And I have Errol Goulden from the Swannies. He's had 2 very good seasons.
Sydney have got to play well because the others are going to take votes off him, so they'd have to.
Yeah,
win
I know, but
15 games.
He's been a lock for the All-Australian wing spot basically for the last 3 years.
For me, if you're going to say that,
He's just going to keep improving.
You have to
This
say
is his 4th
Sydney.
year.
Sydney have to make top 4 if he wins.
They'll make top 8. I don't know about top 4 because it's a first-year coach. Remember?
Yeah.
Like they don't really know much about Dean Cox or how he operates yet. So.
And the Coleman, who have you got for that?
I've Josh Tracy from the Dockers.
Good shout.
He finished the year really, really strongly.
He did.
And he was also injured. I think in like the last 2 rounds as well.
He's younger as well. He's like 23 as well, so he could be a big player for the next 10 years.
Him and Amos, they're going to be very deadly in front of goal.
Yeah, they don't miss. Do not miss.
Amos.
Yeah. I have Jake Waterman, very underrated player. I think he averaged the same amount of goals as I think Charlie Curnow last year or something like that. He was very, very good. He's the best leader in the comp, and that's a big advantage.
Alec Waterman was better. Oh. Alec Waterman, that man was a bloody hero of mine.
He played like 3 games.
No, actually, he played like 20. He kicked 4 goals on Anzac Day, believe it or not.
Like Langford's stunt.
Yeah, but instead of selling the winning goal, he actually brought us close to winning. Like, no one else was playing well except for him. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Also, remember that year, I think it was COVID year, they made finals that year? His form in that season was downright excellent. Like, it's crazy to think about as well. Okay.
We can make another video about Alec Waterman.
Okay, sure. It could be a whole hour thing.
Hopefully not. Rising star. You've got Harley Reid.
Yeah. I was originally gonna say like Jagger Smith or Sam Laidlaw or something like that. Then I did my research and it turns out that it's only players that are under the age of 21 who can win it. And obviously Harley Reid would have won it last year if he didn't get suspended. So since he's not turning 21 this year, I figured I could chuck him on there. Given that he doesn't get suspended, of course. Plus, he's just going to improve. West Coast, you need to throw a contract at him. I reckon at least 7 years. And whether he takes it's a different story. But he's going to be... Just wait for him to be a free agent. Everyone's going to go for him. Where do you think Harley Reid will finish up? Do you think he'll be an Eagle for life? Or do you think he'll go to a Victorian
he'll go somewhere
club?
else.
I think he'll go to Geelong.
Yeah, he will.
I could see him in Geelong colours. Plus, he's a country boy, so he'd like the lifestyle of it.
I have Smiley from Richmond. Good sized player.
Very athletic.
I reckon that he could go forward, kick goals, possibly. Get a big ball in the midfield. They're saying he's a bit like Patrick Cripps.
Well, that's the good thing about having a lot of injuries, I guess.
Yeah.
While most of the VFL players you'll play as spuds, and most of the young players will be spuds at first, you do find some real gems in there. Like, you look at the top-up Dons a few years ago. Essendon, they recruited McDonald Tipping Woody because of that. They also had Darcy Parish in amongst the ball, who's now one of their best midfielders.
Oh, no, he's not.
He's one of our best midfielders. I didn't say AFL.
He's not one of the...
He had one excellent year, and he's dropped off since.
He's always been overrated.
No, during that lockdown year, he was excellent. Like, it wasn't just... Like, he was having 40, 50 disposal games, and it's not like now where he just blazes long and does nothing with it. He was actually, hitting up targets, getting inside 50s, kicking goals even. He was so important for us. He's probably the only reason we made finals.
Alright. Surprise All-Australian. Who have you got?
For my surprise All-Australian, I was thinking of a few players, but then I thought of the player who Kane Corns calls the most underpaid player in the AFL, Callum Archie. He was excellent in the grand final, and I think he had a very good final series overall, to be honest. Like, he's more than just a small forward. He can also tag the opposition's best half-back. Really, I guess, negate their influence. So, yeah, I've got Callum Archie.
I've got Liam Ryan. So dog. I think he's an underrated player. I think that
He was an All-Australian a few years ago.
Are
so
we
I don't know
forgetting
if
he's
that's
the one that
surprising.
kicked it to Dom Sheed?
Yeah, and that was a very good mark he took in that game as well.
Yeah, it was. It was a crazy mark. Yeah, I think that he's a great player, and I think that he played some really good games last year. He can kick goals. He can take big marks. He disposes of the ball. He can get the ball in the midfield as well. He's quick.
Yeah.
I think that
He does look a bit tubby though. Like, it does look like since that 2018 flag, he's put on some weight.
I reckon I'm predicting something coming out of the West Coast, or we are, because I'm saying Waterman wins the Coleman.
Yeah.
Harley, you're saying wins Norm Smith. I'm saying Liam Ryan.
I never said Norm Smith. I said Rising Star.
Oh, like Rising Star, yeah. Sorry. Bit of a fast stretch.
Yeah, well, they actually have a very strong forward line. Now
Yeah.
that you look
If
at
it wasn't for their
paper.
VFL, barely VFL level rest of the team,
Yeah.
maybe they could put something.
They got
together.
Job Shanahan, who's just an absolute stud. Saw him play for the Bombers VFL side. He kicked about, I think, 7 goals, was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, comment. But he was taken at pick 30 somehow. He should have an absolute ripping season for him. Could be their second tall now that Darling's gone. That is actually a good question to come out of this. Who'll be the Eagles' second tall now that Darling's gone, obviously?
What about do another?
Oh, Allen. They have Oscar Allen, don't they?
He's gone. He's their captain. Alright, how about we do another topic as well and we go a team...
Yeah, because we've gone a little bit under time right now.
Unexpected team that will rise.
Unexpected. I think Adelaide.
You reckon Adelaide?
Yeah, they drafted very well by getting Sid Draper, and they also did a very good job bringing Alex Neil-Bullen to the club, who can help sort of...
Is their forward line good enough? Because then Walker's going out, and that'll be a big loss.
No, they have Walker still.
Yeah,
they
but
also have...
he'll be older again this year.
Yeah, we say that about him every year pretty much, it feels.
We have been for like 5 years.
They have an excellent midfield. That's the main thing for me. Like, they've got Rankin, Keys, Dawson, Riley O'Brien, who for some reason was playing in the VFL. And now they have Neil Bullen, who can sort of help stop some of the big-bodied midfielders who really do love tearing it up against the Crows. It's also a massive year for Matthew Nicks, I think. I feel like if Matthew Nicks...
Do or die.
Yeah. Sort of like... He's been cut a lot of slack. His first year they were terrible. They've sort of been up and down since. Haven't made any finals. And you'd think, 5 years as a coach without making any finals, you've got to start asking some questions. So, it's finals or bust for him, I think. And I think his players are really going to dig deep and they're going to make the finals.
Who would I say? I mean, Hawthorn's unexpected. I think Hawthorn could actually fall possibly this year.
Yeah,
no
other teams would have probably worked them out by now, I think.
I think Hawthorn could be, the hype could be too much.
I also think they're a bit complacent.
Yeah.
Like, they've almost got a bit of arrogance to them.
Yeah. A team that could rise this year.
Do you think Melbourne? Melbourne, if they stay out of trouble?
Melbourne aren't good enough. And
Gold Coast?
Gold Coast aren't good enough. I don't think Essendon will really push it too much this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that...
St Kilda?
No. Yeah, I'd say Fremantle because I predict them coming second from 10th.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it's interesting. I reckon at least one of the teams, like Essendon, St Kilda, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Adelaide, one of those teams has got to rise.
I mean, I saw a statistic the other day. It said that 1 out of the 4 top 4 teams for the last 20 years didn't play finals the previous year.
Yeah, well...
Let's look at it, because Geelong, they made the top 4 this year. They didn't play finals last year.
Yeah, that's a very rarity. That's a rarity.
Let's just go through the...
And, people are saying that Geelong might not be good this year. Well, they're always good.
They say that every year.
Where's Port Adelaide stand? They came second last year in Sydney.
I think this is Hinkley's last year as coach. I think they've got a bit of a succession plan going. So, let's look at this. Port Adelaide, they didn't make the top 8 in 2022. They made it in 2023. Collingwood, obviously, 2022. They finished 17th the previous year. 2021, Melbourne won the whole thing. They didn't make top 8 the previous year. Port Adelaide in 2020. I know this was a COVID year, but they didn't make finals the previous year. Finished first.
Port Adelaide lost the prelim in a close one as well to Richmond.
Yeah.
They could have made the grand final.
Easily, yes.
They would have won.
Didn't they kick very poorly in that game as well?
They possibly did.
2019, Brisbane, they were like dead last or something and they finished second.
It's crazy.
Hawthorn didn't make finals in 2017. They made it in 2018. Then obviously 2017, Richmond had a terrible year in 2016. They made the top 4, won the flag the next year. And then 2016, Giants didn't make it. 2015, they made it there.
You see with a lot of those teams, it's the players that they already have that just get better.
Yeah, they just improve. It's never really a big sort of...
There are always teams that have kind of underperformed for the players.
Yeah. I also feel like there are very random sort of recruits that turn it on for them. Like, if you talk to someone before the 2022 season...
Once your good players start playing well, it allows the other players to play well.
It just changes the vibe of the place. Like, who was seriously talking about Tyson Stengel as one of the best small forwards in the game before 2022? Who was talking him as one of...
Anyone that goes to Geelong turns out good. It's crazy.
I know.
They must have the best coaching staff, I say.
Bailey
Whatever they do at training, it's gone right.
Yeah. I was very tempted to say Bailey Smith is my surprise All-Australian, but then I sort of thought about it and thought, he's at Geelong now, so if he's at... When you're wearing the hoops, it's almost like putting on a suit of armour, like you become invincible. I got Jack Martin as well. How do you think he's going to go?
Geelong?
Yeah, Geelong.
I don't know why they got him.
Yeah.
Do you know didn't he get paid like $1 million or something?
Something stupid like that, yeah.
And he barely played a game.
Mm-hmm.
Most overpaid player in history.
He's up there, isn't he?
Have to be, number one.
I mean, you'd have to say, I think Tom Boyd would be pretty close just because the poor kid just got injured.
Yeah, but Jack Martin barely played a game because he wasn't even good enough and still got paid like $1 million.
Do you still get paid for VFL? Because it's semi-pro, isn't it?
He was getting paid more than like Dangerfield or something and wasn't getting a game. And that was when Dangerfield was still kind of in prime.